So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Many thanks for joining us. Here's a business news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Lucky Maxwell. The federal government plans to reintroduce the National Tax Amnesty Scheme. The statement was signed by the Director of Press and Public Relations of the Ministry of Finance, Stephen Kilebi. It was disclosed that during a 2-day retreat of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms in Abuja, a chairman of the committee, Taiwo Oyedele, noted some expected deliverables. Oyedele highlighted the deliverables from the committee, which include optimum taxes, harmonized revenue collection functions, a revised national tax policy. On June 29, 2017, the former Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Emil Shibajo, who served briefly as acting president, signed Executive Order number 004 for the implementation of the Voluntary Asset and Income Declaration Scheme. A tax amnesty scheme offers a time-limited opportunity for taxpayers to regularize their tax status relating to previous tax periods and pay the taxes due with certain benefits. The Nigeria Communications Commission has disclosed that one of its policy achievements of some of the initiated by it, especially as it relates to local content development, is the ban on the importation of whole-body subscriber identification module cards. NCC said the ban has not only eased demand for foreign exchange by the sector, but has also created a local opportunity of over 55 billion naira for the local SIM card manufacturers in Nigeria, which in turn has created direct and indirect jobs. The Executive Vice Chairman of the NCC, Professor Umaru Dambata, disclosed this in Lagos at the ongoing NTICE 2023 Expo. The NCC EVC, who was represented by the Executive Commissioner Technical Services Ubale Maska, said the Nigerian telecom sector is amongst the biggest contributors to the socio-economic growth of the country. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council has said the country generated $2.5 billion from non-oil exports in the first half of 2023. The Executive Director of the NEPC, Dr. Ezra Yakusak, said this at a one-day workshop for emerging exporters on Wednesday in Owerri. Yakusak, represented by the NEPC's State Coordinator in Imo, Anthony Ajuruchi, said, with the revenue milestone reached, the Council could hope to surpass its year 2022 revenue of $4.8 billion by the end of 2023. On the foreign scene, the owner of OnlyFans, the online platform used by sex workers, musicians, celebrities, and more, has been paid $338 million in dividends. Its parent company, Phoenix International, says annual profits jumped to over $500 million. The platform says it now hosts more than 3 million creators, serving almost 240 million users or fans. UK-based Phoenix sole shareholder Leonid Radvinsky has a personal fortune estimated at more than $2 billion. And that's the business news update on Today 95.1 FM. I'm Lucky Maxwell. Good afternoon. We'll bring you Greenland, which is up next. Stay with us.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about it.
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your premium talk radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about it.
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your premium talk radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
as we take you through a journey of discovery, exploitation, and essence of natural resources on your premium talk and news and sports stations. It is Greenland.
A program that brings to center stage issues on agriculture with analysts, technocrats, and farmers.
To discuss the challenges, opportunities, and role of agriculture in Nigeria and how it affects our economy. Every Friday, 1 p.m. only on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Greenland on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. Welcome everyone. As usual on Greenland, we take the time to talk innovations and developments in the agri sector. And today will be no different. We'll be looking at those developments. And in particular, has anyone been able to buy bole recently? And it depends on where you're buying from. Plantain is so expensive. It's been rising. The price of plantain, which is also a staple food, has been rising. What you will buy, say, four pieces, 5, used to be 200 naira, and then 400 naira, and then 400 naira, and then now 800 naira, now as high as 2,000 naira. You see some tiny banana looking like plantain. Banana looking like plantain. It's so expensive. The same thing happens with banana. You know, this banana is sometimes it's just scarce, and then when you find the price is hitting the roof. And I said to me, okay, I went to get bole recently, and the lady told me 1 piece 500 naira. Well, quite big. I said, what do you? She said 1 piece 500 naira. And there are places where it's even more expensive. And I said, even plantain, we cannot produce in River State to feed ourselves. We cannot afford to have enough plantain in River State to feed ourselves. Then fish, there, 600, 700, 1,000 naira. Fish. Years ago, if you wanted to buy fish of 500 naira, it would be really big. Roast fish. But now, it is expensive. And I said, with all the water bodies we have surrounding us, river this, river that, you go to this community, you mean we cannot have enough catch? Because there's cultured and captured. We don't have enough of that to flood our markets, to push down prices. What exactly is really happening? And then yam. Yam is still pretty much still very cheap in terms of how it is. So perhaps it's because of the way it's cut. The small pieces, the way they cut it. So yam is still, well, there was a time you have yam. There was a time a piece of plantain used to be 50 naira.
Sure.
100 naira. 200 naira.
Yes.
300 naira. But yam would stay, even then, 20 naira, 50 naira and stuff. Maybe because of the way they used to cut it. So in one tuber of yam, you can have more than the amount you used to buy by the time they cut into those pieces and roast and stuff. And there are many other things. But yam is still, but it's expensive. Overall, it's even more expensive now to buy a small tuber, a big tuber, whatever it is. It's just expensive. And all of these things put together, my mind just kept racing. So if government decides to do nothing, this is how it's going to be. But we also must acknowledge that even the ones that we get to see is the effort of individuals contributing to it. So we ask ourselves some of these questions today, and the question is, what can individuals do if government refuse to intervene or have a plan for a robust agri-innovation and revolution for us as a people, especially in River State? Our guest is Mr. Vitalis Chindabule, is the program manager, River State ADP, Obiakpo. And is it Obiakpo and Port Harcourt?
Yes, Obiakpo, Port Harcourt.
Obiakpo, Port Harcourt.
Obiakpo is the LGA.
Yes, so it can be Port Harcourt again now.
The community is Romodomaya.
So that should be Obiakpo now.
Obiakpo.
Port Harcourt is another LGA.
Yes.
So, welcome,
Obiakpo.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
So,
it's a pleasure having you once again.
When I called Mr. Bule earlier and I shared with him, he laughed at me. he really took his time to laugh at me. I said, why are you laughing? In fact, he bought 2 days ago and it was expensive. And you just think you can go and eat. But they talk about wars. Yes, we have conflict issues. Are we without capacity, sir, to grow plantain in River State?
Once again, good afternoon, our great audience and our targeted audience, our farmers, and all the persons that are interested in agricultural development, and all over River State and Nigeria, because nobody is devoid of eating.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk of agriculture, we're talking of food. How to place food on top of each and everyone's table.
Yeah.
That is agriculture. That's the way I understand it. Because that is the terminal. So if there is no food on our table, if we are hungry or malnourished, or there are shortage of food or starvation, which means agriculture has been placed at the doldrum, have been dropped, have been relegated to the background. And that is what we are seeing today. Once again, we have the capacity. We were talking of agriculture, we were talking of commodities, crops, fisheries, livestock, where River State has a comparative advantage over other states. And banana, plantain, yam, fish, these are the chief commodities that we are supposed to catch in for us to have a headway, for us to run away from poverty, for us to create employment, for us to feed ourselves, for us to have a nutritional sustainability and food safety. And I would like to start this way by saying that down there at Abu Odwa, you can plant a whole lot of plantain, because plantain has a high tolerance for water.
Okay.
Sorry, banana has a high tolerance for water compared to plantain.
Okay.
Banana, yes, high tolerance. Banana can tolerate high flooded area. Vis-a-vis plantain. Plantain may not tolerate, banana may tolerate. And then there
we also have capacity to grow
have the capacity.
banana as well.
Banana, plantain, they go hand in hand, Citrus paribus.
Okay.
Yes. We are talking of plantain. You heard that we're talking of banana. They are brothers and sisters. And down there at Ahoda East, Ahoda West, Oba, Egbema, Ikweri, Emoha, Iche, Omoma, Oyibo, Tai, the whole lot of Ogoni land. We can grow all these things. We can grow them. We have the comparative advantage. We can grow them. But the question is, what do the individual farmer,
okay,
how can the individual farmer step up his or her production in the area of plantain, in the area of banana, and what have you, without much assistance from the government?
How much can they do?
How much can they do? Okay, I will start by saying this way. They can do...
we already have, you can confirm that even the supply that we have now,
okay,
that become more and more expensive, it's more of individual effort.
Yes.
Than government participation or government drive.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes, actually.
So, I'm confused why price is going up the way it's going up.
Okay.
Because if individuals are planting, they have farms and they are planting, and when it's season, right, they harvest, they sell, they harvest, they sell. Do they necessarily have factors of production that the price there increases, hence the increase we see in the market?
Thank you, sir. In any productive system, in any production system, 4 or 5 factors of production will come into play. There is an interplay of the factors of production, ranging from the land,
okay,
from the capital, from the entrepreneurial skill, the skill, and all that. distance and all that, proximity, availability of room, all those things. And so what am I saying in essence? What I'm saying is that River State can do more. Individual household farmers. We'll call it individual or household farmers. Over the years, household farmers in River State, they've been doing a whole lot of production activities without a whole lot of support from the government.
Okay.
Why am I saying this? In the area of River State Agricultural Development Program, which is a government agency, which I'm supposed to be, which I'm the head. I am the head as the program manager, River State Agricultural Development Agency. So, over the years, at least 33 years now, or 30 years down the lane, years back, and I happened to come from the field, the production, the field operations, before I came to the position of a manager. We've not been able to actually sensitize our farmers on this issue of plantain production and banana production in a large scale.
We'll get to that, okay. but I don't think you quite answered the question.
Okay. The factors of production coming into play.
Yes. Why do we have the hike in price?
Okay,
hike in having
price.
It.
Hike in price is as a result of the low supply chain. You know, the forces of demand and supply is already acting on the plantain production sector.
So more persons wanted
more persons, more hands, more machinery to go into the production system, so as to meet up the demand.
Okay.
Because the demand is high and the supply is low, there is every tendency for the price to rise. How about of demand and supply?
Is there a transport factor in this too?
Yes. If I was telling you, we were talking about the production chain, from the production chain to harvesting to transportation to before it gets to the final consumer. It has to be shifted from all these local governments, all these farms down to Port Harcourt or down to wherever location it has to be consumed, and that's the final consumer. Transportation cost, the petrol hike. Recently, there is the removal of subsidy by the federal government. Definitely, you expect that these things will have a toll on the
price.
On the price.
Okay,
that is what is playing out.
Okay, so you're talking about the experience about sensitizing farmers on plantain and banana
production, the price of transportation, the zeal, creating more zeal, creating more interest for our young farmers, for our young men and young women to go into agriculture. They look at agriculture as agriculture is not palatable. Before I started coming, I went to my farm. You can see my hands. I went to my farm this morning. Asking, we are planting I did a lot of planting. I mean, one of these days I will take you to my farm. Agriculture is not palatable because we needed to form cooperative societies within the farmers, smallholder farmers.
Yeah.
Form cooperative societies. Pull our little, we call it capital accumulation. Pull our little resources together and see how we can get small motorized machines that can till our land and do the necessary things that individually we would have dissipated much more energy in doing. By so doing, it will enhance production. And the price of the commodity, price of plantain will come down.
Okay, so you talked about sensitizing farmers.
Yes.
That extension officers like yourself, you've not been able to sensitize farmers adequately.
Adequately, yes.
Why so?
Why so? Because we have over 50,000 farming families in River State.
50,000?
50,000 farming families. Over. More than 50,000. More than that. I mean, farming families, household. More than 50,000. Okay? We have more than that. Triple or so. But what am I saying? We have fewer extension agents. As I speak to you now, we have less than 20 extension agents.
In River State as a whole?
In River State as a whole, in River State ADP. How can they reach out to the nooks and crannies of the state? How can they reach out to individual farmers, plantain farmers? How can we do it? And so it behoves on the government once again I don't know why I'm all that trying to call on the government. I want to run away from this angle. But there's nothing we cannot shift away. We cannot shy away from the truth, because I cannot employ, I cannot hire, I cannot employ. It is only the state government that can employ these extension agents.
Yeah.
Then deploy them to different farming communities, household farmers. By so doing, production will increase and price will fall.
So, what kind of message are the farmers, the 50,000 household farmers?
More than.
What kind of message are they lacking to perhaps increase their yield, increase their produce in the area of, say, plantain, banana, yam?
The message they are lacking, we cannot do much in agriculture without capital. Capital is very important, key. After capital, the skill, the passion, commitment. You have the skill, you have to undergo a little training, rudimentary basic training.
And that's what the extension officers would bring.
That's where we come in. We train them, motivate them, give them the talk up, we talk their spirit up. We motivate them, and let me borrow this word, we ginger them, if you like. The layman's idea, we try to bring up their spirit, talk up their spirit to go into this business. And we equally tell them how lucrative the business is. Just as you rightly pointed out, a stand of plantain, 500 naira. Multiply by how many thousands of plantain you are producing. You're already on money. But the land cultivation, the tillage, the tilling, pulverization of the land, the clearing of the land preparation, the tilling of the land, the harrowing of the land, and all that requires a whole lot of money. And it is only when you embark on large-scale production that you harvest, in a large scale. The Bible said it. The Bible talked about it. If you sow sparingly, you reap sparingly. But if you sow bountifully in a massive large-scale production, you reap in a massive scale. And when you send it to the market, it will push down the price.
So
and you will arrive at a market equilibrium.
There's a big market for plantain, yes? There's a big market for plantain, yes?
Yes.
A big market for plantain. If you have young persons or persons weeks now,
yes.
What has happened?
So many things have been happening down there in Abuja. We are yet to see the trickling effect down here in River State.
Okay.
In less than no time, I'm sure we'll see the effect.
Okay.
Because so many things are happening.
I say okay.
Yes. And so I want to call on our youths, especially youths of River State, that plantain and banana cultivation is a very, very lucrative business. Because the market is there already, they already market. Both local, national, and international. So they are there already.
And the quality won't be an issue if you're exporting.
They will tell you, we of the agri sector will tell you what to do as to export.
Okay.
But we are saying locally, national. That is.
There's a big market.
It's a very big market. And so once they key into this value chain, plantain, banana value chain, they will be smiling home every month with a whole lot of money, smiling to the banks and they're making their transactions.
So what are some of the basics that they need to know?
Thank you. The basic thing that they have to know is one, the site selection.
Okay.
Because you cannot plant on the air. You have to plant on the land, or soil.
True.
You go, and if you don't have a place to cultivate, you go and search for a suitable, fertile, arable land. No flooding. Suitable arable land where you can plant. You can get that in Ikwere local government, in Emoha local government, Omoma local government, Iche local government, Oyubo local government, Tai. Kana.
You can get in Obiakpo and
you can get in Obiakpo. Obiakpo is a metropolis. You can get in Obiakpo a whole lot. in Obiabo and in Port Harcourt.
Okay.
You can even get in Huda East, Huda Abua, Odwal, Onelga. Can get all these things. And when that is done, you definitely cannot divulge the impact of capital. You have to have a little capital because only one single human being cannot do the cultivation, cannot do the land clearing, cannot do everything. You have to bring in labor to clear the trashes, to clear the bush, and pack. And then you have to go into selection of cultivars.
Okay.
What do I mean by cultivars? Planting materials. And we have good planting materials at River State Agricultural Development Program, Romodomaya, in Obiakoya, Port Harcourt. And so when you come to River State ADP, our extension department, the technical department, will give you the hybrid varieties. That is drought resistance, high yielding, disease resistance, and all that.
But it's not free.
It's not free. That's why capital comes in. It's not free. There's no free food in Freetown. So, because you're into agribusiness, into a business.
Okay.
It's not free.
I know we
subsidize. It's moderate.
Okay. I know we always say that it's all year round rainy season we have in River State, but there are times where we have dryness.
Okay. Yes.
Is it enough for one to think of irrigation for some of their farms?
Definitely.
The short period, the short dry season
period, yes. During the short spell period, you water your plantain, but it will give you more bomber harvest.
So how long does it take from planting to harvesting?
Planting to harvesting takes, if you go into, there are two ways of sorting out for plantable materials or cultivars. I will advise that you go for the sod suckers, SWO, sod or sod. I don't know.
Okay.
Depends on how you pronounce it, sod or sod suckers. That is when you see a parent plantain, you will see the first sucker coming up. Beside it, you will see another sucker. These are sod suckers. Sod.
Okay.
There's normal sod now.
Yeah, sod. Yeah.
Yeah. These are the best. They are highly resistant to diseases, to drought, and high yielding. And so when that is done, then you talk of the planting. By then you have finished your land preparations. The site selection, the selection of the cultivars. You have to select healthy cultivars, good ones, because you're into a business that will give you what you want. You want to make returns. You want to make profit. Nobody wants to go into business and targeting to lose. So when this is done, then you go and plant. You plant 3 meters away. 3 meters here, 3 meters by 3 meters. Along the line, then the space in between, just straight along the ridge. Let me see, there's a straight ridge there. 3 meters here, 3 meters there, 3 meters. That is spacing, that's the recommendation.
Okay.
Then from one stand along the diameter this way, the width, you give another 3 meters.
So that's about 9 meters.
Yes. 3 meters. 3 meters this way. Yes, you can plant new roads. So that you can slash. You can take care of the weeds, either through spraying or through slashing. During the process of organic manure application or inorganic manure, you can definitely take care of it. And by so doing, you will cumulatively aggregate, or so to say, calculate the plant population in a given hectare. Because there is a recommended plant population in a given hectare. And that is you are targeting a profit.
Yeah.
Yes. Because if you are deficient of the plant population, you are losing 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 bunches. And that is money.
Is it the same thing with yam?
I mean, do you mean about this planting space?
Yes.
No. Yam is planted 1 meter by 1 meter apart.
Okay.
1 meter spacing. 1 meter here, 1 meter here. And 1 meter is one shovel.
The length
of a shovel. Yeah, that is 1 meter. That's the 1 meter.
So,
normal. We are of the field. We don't use shovel. We don't use tape. each of our movement in the farm, each of our stepping, our movement, I would throw our leg, bam, throw the other one, bam, the measurement. I know as I move one of my step, bam, move the other one front, bam, that is measurement for me, and I'm planting. And if you use your shovel to measure it, or use your tape, accurate, because we are professionals.
So, does it take the same thing to plant yam?
So yam is normally, you can do yam planting in ridges. You can also plant in mouths. That is when you do mouth here, you can plant, or you can plant in flat, depending on what you are targeting. If you are targeting to produce ware yams, W-A-R-A, ware yams, big yam, big tubers.
Okay.
That is for the one they use in bole. Okay. Then you can plant in a mouth. You can make mouths. Depending on the size of the mouth. The size of the mouth will depend how many yam seedlings you plant.
Okay.
Okay. If you make a mouth like this your table, this is our table like this, you are sure of getting around 10 big yams, 10 plantable yams. By the next harvesting season, you see that you are getting a very big bumper harvest, heap of mouths like this.
How long does it take?
Yam?
Yes.
Yam takes within 6 months to 9 months. Maturity.
So,
from planting to maturity. Depending on the species or the variety of yam. Because we have 4 or 5 varieties of yam.
So what is planted?
What is planted is the yam seedlings. So let me come to the yam.
Isn't that what we call the head of the yam?
No. It's not the head of the yam per se. But the head of the yam is equally good. Let me come here. If you want to go into seed yam multiplication, you are planting, targeting that by next year you will harvest. And this harvest will act as seedlings for next year's period. Let's say planting. And farmers will come from left, right, and center to buy from you. It's a business. We call it seed yam multiplication. Seed yam multiplication. And so what do? You get a whole yam, a whole tuber. A whole tuber around, let me say, 3 to 4 cm. Within an aspect like this, from here to here, you are going to, you divide it diagonally, straight, cut it straight.
Okay.
Into 2 symmetrical parts, equal parts. Get this part again, cut it straight again, cut this one straight again, and start getting a matchbox size.
It's not the same thing we talked about potato.
It's just the same thing, just the same way. Then you can plant in ridges, a kind of nursery. You can plant in ridges. You can plant either direct or you nurse. After you must have treated it with chemicals, with a seed care, so that it can protect it from insect attack and some other things. You plant 25 cm apart on the ridge, 25 to 30 cm. And by so doing, after getting all the agronomic practices quietly observed, the best agronomic practices, call it or good agronomic gap, you will see that you are making a whole lot of 20 yam seedlings, plantable yam, the following year, very big, very mighty harvest. And it's more lucrative than planting ware yams. We have tried to calculate it in millions. This is more lucrative. But the problem, the challenge is how to till the ground, to till the soil, to get the soil pulverized, because we needed labor or small motorized machines for tilling, just like it is done in the outside countries. Because using your labor to do it, my brother, you will not go far, and you will not produce more, and you will fall sick.
So if we had more persons get into planting these things, we can at least reduce the pressure. But ultimately, if government were to be intentional in the agri sector, and we went commercial, we went mechanized. Mechanized. Yes. We would have more harvest.
Yeah, more harvest, more bumper harvest.
And that
we have enough to feed ourselves and enough to export, to give to other states, or export to other countries through processed agri value chain. Process it, agri value chain. Processing. That is where you make more profit, either in the plantain, the banana, or the yam.
I'll open the phone lines early today so we can take your reactions. It's Greenland on Today 95.1 FM, and we're looking at how citizens can how citizens can contribute to food sustainability, even when we continue to hope that government would intervene at some point. Some of the things that we've always known, they are becoming out of the reach, literally out of the reach, of the poor in our society. Completely out of the reach. One piece of plantain, 500 naira. If you want to buy a bunch now, I notice sometimes that when you're traveling,
about 4, 5, 6, 7,000 naira. Depends on the bunch.
But if you're traveling to some of our communities, go to areas like Ogoni areas and the rest of them, and then you see them there, they're cheaper.
Okay. Because there are no transport fare attached to it. By the time you lift it from Ogoni side, from Bonobanga, from Kana, going to Akwa Ibom, those community, by the time you lift it to Port Harcourt, the cost of the whole thing has increased. The cost of transportation will be added to the cost of production, and the final consumer has to bear the bond. If you are transporting from Omarelu, Elele, where I come from, Omarelu, Elele, Lubele, Iba, do you understand what I'm telling you? Omawa, Ubima, down from Ozwaha, down to Omagwa, Gruta, down to this place. You expect something now. It is not it's not water that you used to put in there. It's square. Wow. And then we'll add the businessman or the businesswoman that is into agri-value chain, the transporter of agri-produce. He or she is equally involved in agricultural value chain system, delivery system. He or she has to add the price, has to make his or her profit. So the price will go.
0817-000951, 0810-9510-951. Again, 0817-000951, 0810-9510-951. And then for messages, 0701-9339-962. Again, 0701-9339-962. It's Greenland. Phone lines are open. We'll take those contributions as they come. So if we had a government intervention, in what areas should the government intervene? You'll respond in a moment.
Okay.
Today, 95.1. Good morning. Sorry, sir. You'll respond in a moment.
Okay.
Well, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome. Sorry.
Yes, my name is Onu Samuel calling from Port.
Welcome, sir. Please go on.
Thank you very much. I want to say that the reason why we are having shortage of food or price of food going higher in our various markets is because we have government that are so incompetent. We don't even have scientists in Nigeria. We don't have inventors in Nigeria. Or what we do is to consume. Both the riverine and the upland can be able to produce sufficient food for us. If we exactly know what we are doing, if our government are thinking within. But none of them is doing that. All they want is to acquire assets. That is the problem we are having. How can River State lack the basic food supply? When it comes to guarantees that we know that we can be able to, produce yam, plantain, name them. Yes, we fold our hands because we have people that they feel that what their brain can be able to produce as a government is flyover and road. Until we think inwardly and you know that those things can generate profitably because we can as well import them and so also have sufficiency to quench our needs. But look at, we are so helpless. The states are helpless. The nations are helpless. The local governments are helpless because number one, all they think about is to get assets. Nobody is thinking outside the box. And our fears always come direct to our face. And at the end of the day, the poor masses, the strugglers, people that depend on daily living like us, that will face the wrath of the music. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for reaching out. Let's take some more reactions. Today, 95.1. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Zion, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Mr. Zion. Welcome.
It's a shared responsibility, and a large portion goes to we the people, not even the government. How many of us in Rivers State today have farm on our own? 18 years you have a farm. How many of us? But rather, all of us are in Port Harcourt doing nothing. Yes, you know the government have the role to play. By the grace of God, I'm a farmer in Bayelsa, and particularly plantain. One problem that is facing us is flooding. Flooding is what has caused this present high in plantain. It was the flood. You know, when the flood came, it ravaged. It went beyond what we have never experienced. Okay, we managed to survive some of those plantain because plantain cannot fully resist water. Water will just deal with it, like the guest in the studio told you. Banana can survive, but plantain, it cannot. After 3 months in water, the plantain will go. Okay, now we need improved seed, improved yield in plantain. The ones that are water tolerant, we need it in our environment. That is where we need the government, so that we can be able to survive this period, because we like it or not, as long as they have not yet dredged the River Niger, flood is still coming. All we need is improved yield, water resistance. Okay, now, if you cannot give us that yield, can you also sponsor or finance us for us to seek for higher lands? Because these higher lands now are far from the communities. Machineries are needed to get to that point. So what do we do? How much are we earning? The truth is this. Why is this a shared responsibility? If through the agricultural programs, machines are released to us, improved fields are released to us, we will know what to do. But for now, even if the government release money now, who will this money go to for agriculture? Before you know, political farmers will come. But if we as a number, the number is on ground as farmers, we are on ground. When this money comes based on our cooperative which we are formed, of course, political farmers will be afraid of us. But for now, the farmers are not on ground. That's why the political farmers are having the field day. So let us go back to the farm.
All right, Mr. Zion, thank you so much for reaching out. You talked about flooding there being a major issue, and you talked about the resistance of plantain as against that of banana.
The resistance of banana against plantain in flooded zones.
Banana does better.
No, plantain does. Banana does better in a flooded environment.
Flooded environment now.
Vis-a-vis plantain.
All right, let's see if we can take some more calls.
But if you are talking about resistant plantain varieties in a flooded environment, it has to go through research.
Okay.
You have to research.
Do we have any research?
Yeah, we have research
findings on that.
Yes, we have. It's just for the government to mandate the research institute. Such result will come up in the next time.
Today95.1, good afternoon.
Yeah, Kelly, good afternoon.
Hi, welcome.
My name is Daniel.
Daniel, please go on.
Your question, how can we help as an individual outside government effort and all that? In as much as I agree with it, some government has to come and help, but there are some things we can do to ourselves. In my house, I'm not buying plantain. I have plantain at my backyard. I'm sure every month I will take one bunch. I'm doing who planted it in my own house. So sometimes I don't know why some people, you go in, you see bigger compound, you don't have anything there. Why don't you just find a way to see if you can plant one or two things? In fact, I find it difficult to buy plantain in the market because that's something I observe. Sometimes they even force it to ripe. The chemical they apply on it is even what it's tiring. So when I cut it, I allow it to ripe in my house the way I want to use it. I have banana. You go in and see banana. I'm expecting about 2. I know that during this rainy season, you don't do that much. Unlike around November, December, you may even be getting about 2 bunch in a month. And I eat them, I don't sell. So in as much as the government will help, so now let's help ourselves. If you have a land or a property somewhere, find where to put something. It's not everything you go to the market and go and buy. Everything you want to buy, everything. But he doesn't for the fact that I have a plantain in my compound doesn't make me a poor man, doesn't make me a big man. It doesn't necessarily you have to do for yourself.
Daniel, thank you so much for reaching out. Let me read a question here. Hi, Kelly. Good day. My question is, will there be land to cultivate plants in the next 4 years because of real estate developers virtually taking or buying up our farmlands for estates? That's one question. Let me see if the second one is a question. How do we get the chemical to go against the elements that infect?
Okay, it's talking of pests and diseases.
Yes.
The chemicals are there. The pesticides
this is
are there.
Ogo.
You come to River State Agricultural Development Program.
Okay.
We'll give you the seed cares, the pesticides, the herbicides, and the nematicides and fungicides.
It's all part of the capital that you need now.
Yes, the capital.
I see another message here. Let me see if we could quickly read it. Please, I want to know if there are available suckers to buy and at what rate to enable me plan and budget. What other technical assistance can I get from the ADP?
Yes, there are variable suckers. The salt suckers are the preferred ones available in a large quantity.
Okay.
When you come to River State Agricultural Development Program, located at Romo Domaya community in Obiakpo local government, directly situated opposite Obio Akpo local government council secretariat, directly positioned. That is where you see River State ADP. That is the headquarters. We also have a farm. We also have a big farm located at school to land premises. We call it ADP farms. We also have farms.
So you are talking about if government were to intervene, in what areas? Because Mr. Zion talked about certain things.
Let me respond. Let me respond. The government has to come in areas such as research. Okay. Because somebody, is it Mr. Zion that talked about the tolerance of the low tolerance of plantain
to
flood, and he did mention that they needed a more tolerant species. And as I speak to you now, we do not have a more tolerant species of plantain suckers to flood. I mean plantain. And so what the government has to do is for the government to as a matter of urgency, already a state of emergency has been declared in food security. As a matter of urgency, there's a mandate research institute. The government knows where to do, what to do, where to go. So it's just for them to mandate the research institutes to as a matter of research, produce or bring that is a species that is highly tolerant. I mean plantain cultivars or sucker that is highly tolerant to flood. They will do that, just as we have done the SAMAS.
So the government,
the government can mandate those research institute. They will go into research and produce that can be tolerant to flood.
So that's one.
The government can come in that aspect. Secondly, government can come in areas of empowering the cooperative groups or the farm families or the farm communities in provision of at least small motorized machine that you can push with your hand, can till the ground and do little things. You know, farming is all energy sapping. If you carry the whole thing of human beings, there is a limit human beings can do. Human beings will break down. But machine, a work that a machine can do for 1 hour. Let me say machine for 1 hour. A human being cannot do it in 1 month. I'm telling you. So that's that area. Second, third area is for the banks. You know, when you get to these commercial banks, all the commercial banks, they have a department of agric empowerment or agric development.
Okay.
They have a section for agric. And what is the section out there to do? The department. They're out there to encourage farmers by giving them grants or loans at a small digit interest. And that's why I will always say it repeatedly. So that if such a loan facility is to be granted, the River State Agricultural Development Program or the Ministry of Agriculture has to authenticate the list or the who is a farmer and not politician farmer. I mean, or politicians or briefcase or portfolio carrying farmers or people that claim to be farmers and they're not farmers. They disguise themselves only to go and hijack the money and off they go. I'm very surprised that I took a boy of about 10 years to my family. Well, that was yesterday, and he could not differentiate. He couldn't differentiate Okazli leaf from the leaf of yam. He saw the yam leaf, a yam that I put in my farm. He said, "This is Okazli." I said, "No, this is yam." So that's the place we find ourselves now. Orientation matters.
About education.
Very, very important.
At the primary school,
at the
secondary schools.
Secondary school, primary school. We will start from the kindergarten. At the lower level of the educational system, the primary school, the secondary school, make agriculture a compulsory subject. Make agriculture passionate. People should have their zeal, their morale, rekindled in the area of agriculture. Because if you are shying away from agriculture, which means you are shying away from feeding, from food. You will not eat now. I will not eat. Who will produce the food for the massive teeming population of Rivers people?
We have to go. Let's leave it here for today. Mr. Vitalis Chindabule, River State Agriculture Development Program Manager, Obiakpo. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, my brother, my friend.
Maybe one day we'll get there.
By God's grace.
Or maybe even the food security, state of emergency on food security pronouncement by President Tinubu could take us closer there. Maybe.
Who knows?
I guess we'll have to wait and see. But for now, if all of us can put our hands in the plow, it would help our situation significantly.
Honestly.
But that's our show. Greenland. We'll be back next Friday as we look at other all-important issue in the agri sector affecting you and I. Kelly Kimejma is my name. Stay with Today FM. More to come. Lucky Maxwell will be here in a moment as we continue serving you the delights that we do on radio. Good afternoon.
Every day, we hear reports about counterfeit products, stories of fake drugs, food, expired goods and other consumables being manufactured, imported and sold to unsuspecting members of the public. Findings reveal that Africa records at least 100,000 deaths from fake drugs-related ailments yearly. These fake and substandard products, particularly drugs, have been considered a global threat to human lives. And despite efforts by authorized agencies in Nigeria to combat the menace, the Nigerian market remains flooded with different unwholesome products. This is a plea to all those who manufacture and sell these goods to desist. Stop this menace of counterfeit products. Let's place value on human lives. And should you have purchased a counterfeit product or unsatisfied with the product, please contact SON or Consumer Protection Agency. This message is powered by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Government tell us say police na our friend. I remember wetin my papa tell me. He say make I mind who I dey call my friend.
Young lady, you're under arrest.
Oga, for waiting now. What can I do?
When you get to the station, you find out.
Hey.
Don't show, everybody don't drop out.
I say I know they follow you go anywhere.
You know they go anywhere. Go and ask about Officer Mark. You see, if I deal with you, nothing will happen. Nobody will question me. I will deal with you.
Oga, leave my clothes now. Wait. You won't naked me.
Oga. Do you have 200,000?
200,000 for what now? What can I do where you want to collect 200,000?
If you get to the station, you pay more than that.
200k for waiting. I don't get that kind of money. I don't get that kind of money. Oga, remember, you were once like us before you got into force. You have brothers and sisters like us in this society. The law says protect lives and properties, but what do we see today?
This life don't last forever.
Please remember, we have just one life. Why can't we live for one another?
Things will get better if you just hold my hand.
This message is brought to you from Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
You may wonder why we chose to dabble into broadcasting. It is because on Today FM, we understand the right of every person and every group to fair coverage. In bringing you the news, we give you a platform to share your views. We give you a voice. Your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people, the people, the people, the people.
Thomas Edison, who lived from 1847 to 1931, was quoted as saying in 1890 that non-violence leads to the highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, we are still savages. Encourage peace in the city and report violence. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not harm. Thou shalt not be violent. This message is brought to you by the Voice of the People. Today, 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Thanks for joining us. Good afternoon. Here's a news update at 2 on Today 95.1 FM. I'm Lucky Maxwell. 22 of the 36 military personnel killed on August 14 in Niger have been laid to rest in Abuja. The ceremony was held at the National Military Cemetery with the rank and file of the Nigerian Armed Forces in attendance. Minister of State for Defense Bello Matawale, Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Christopher Musa, other service chiefs as well as family members and friends of the deceased were present at the funeral. According to Defense Headquarters, the officer's helicopter was shot down by some insurgents in the Zungeru area of Niger State following their deployment to Kundu village in Wushishi local government area after bandits terrorized the area recently. That President Tinubu does not have any plan to cushion the effect of petrol subsidy removal. The minister also accused Obaseki of playing cheap politics even though the time for that is over. Idris called on Governor Obaseki to focus on how his government will use available resources to drive impactful projects in Edo State. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, says the federal government will soon unveil the humanitarian funds to lift 133 million Nigerians out of poverty. Speaking during a television interview, the minister assured that the government will be transparent and sincere with Nigerians on its plans and agenda, which she said have already been set by President Bola Tinubu. She also revealed that the ministry would soon start the verification of the social register for transparent distribution of petrol subsidy palliatives. Edu said poverty alleviation is paramount to Tinubu's administration, adding that the government will provide jobs to alleviate poverty. The National Bureau of Statistics Poverty Index said 130 million Nigerians are poor. Our former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Timi Frank, has called on the federal government, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Central Intelligence Agency to urgently investigate the authorities of Chicago State University over their refusal to release President Bola Tinubu's relevant academic record. In a statement, Frank said that the probe became necessary to determine the authenticity of the certificate offered to Americans who graduated from the university. Frank also urged the judge in the state of Chicago court to order the university to release the documents the way it would have been done if a U.S. citizen had made a similar application. On the foreign scene, the Kremlin has dismissed rumors that it ordered the assassination of Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin, who reportedly died in an aviation incident after leading an uprising against Russia's military leadership. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said made the denial while speaking during a briefing and accused the West of fueling the speculation. The crash on Wednesday occurred exactly 2 months after Prigozhin led a deadly rebellion against Moscow's top brass, unrest seen by observers as having been the biggest threat to President Vladimir Putin's long rule. And that's the news. I'm Lucky Maxwell. Good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Fire incidents have become a regular occurrence, with thousands of lives and millions of properties lost every year in this country. Hardly a day passes without news of a fire outbreak in some part of the country, causing fear and panic among the people. Needless to say, we need to remind ourselves of the possibility of an outbreak at any time. This is what is likely to prevent us from being taken by surprise. Always put off appliances when not in use. Do not overload electrical sockets. Fuel your generator before, not when in use. Avoid fixing electrical faults personally when you apparently do not have the skill. Keep the candle on a candle stand.
It takes only a minute for a fire to get out of hand. In case of a fire outbreak, please call the fire service hotline 070-315-221-99. This message is brought to you by your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
You can never plan the future by the past. He who has a why to live can bear almost any out. Lost time is never found again. It is the province of knowledge to speak, and it is the privilege of wisdom to listen. I don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. In the end. It is not the years in your life that count. It is the life in your years. Make it count with us. Make it count with us at Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM.
Welcome to Talk That Talk, the Friday edition. It's a Friday. Happy Hour Friday. Is anybody organizing any happy hour arrangement? Please let us know. All right, thank you for joining us. Once more, let me appreciate everyone that has always contributed on the show. We love you. Yes, you're the reason why we're here. And we must say thank you very much. Whether you've called in or tried to send text message or not, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. This is Today 95.1 FM. My name is Lucky Maxwell. Now, before we get into the topic of discuss, I was just going through some things. Worried with the way the electricity or the power nature in Nigeria is. And how it is affecting households, how it is also affecting businesses, and how a lot of people stakeholders have told the government of the day, if they can get this particular area correctly, then Nigeria will be prosperous. It is not enough to give palliatives to people. You know, these are just snacks. It's like when you're hungry and they bring meat pie for you to eat and water or drink. It's just something to, just an appetizer, just for you to be patient before the main food comes. So that can just carry for 30 minutes, 1 hour, at most 1 hour, 30 minutes before the main food comes. So palliative is just, it's not solving the main problem. It's like giving you painkiller. Once that painkiller subsides, the pain returns. But when you do the surgery, remove the main cause of the issue. For instance, a medicine for women who have painful menstruation that is caused by fibroid. Once that fibroid is removed, that particular painful menstruation stops. So, but if you just give the person painkiller every month, you know, when the person wants to see her menses, she feels that pain, you give her painkiller, it will continue. So that's how palliative is. And that's why I'm not particularly very okay with it, even though palliatives have been given to states. And I wanted to also ask, what happened? We've not heard of any committee in River State, or has the palliative not landed? The 5 billion, including the bags of rice, is it 5 trucks that was given to each state? Or has it gone to have they stored it in their warehouse as usual? I said I was going to ask that question. I don't know. If anybody has any information, if we've received ours, please let us know, because it is pertinent to know that while they have also decided to distribute that palliative, because we have a government that is not ready to fix problems. All they want to do is to share things. Whereas a lot of people are saying, fix the major problem, people can go about their business and look for what to eat. But since they decide to share it, where is it? And these are questions citizens should be asking. Nigerians, sometimes we just, maybe because of the long years of suffering. So, you know, Nigerians have short memory. Before you know it now, except people, if that palliative are coming, talking about the bags of rice, and as usual, they store it in their warehouse, and people now discover and start looting it. That's when they will say police should be going after people. Please, the authorities should let us know if they've received ours in River State, and when will they start distribution? At least the bags of rice. Then the other 5 billion, they said they should buy more rice, buy fertilizers, buy seedlings, and give to farmers. Having said that, I was looking at the 10 most electrified countries in Africa. We are not going to Europe now. No. We are not going to other continents that are developed. Let's stay in Africa. Why is it that the electricity issue in Africa and Nigeria has lingered for too long? I was meant to understand that during the Olusegun Obasanjo's administration, $16 billion was pumped into that system. That's the power sector. $16 billion. Nobody has been able to tell us where that money went to, because if that money was sunk into the power sector, it is expected that people should be seeing power, not darkness, right? So if we are not getting a commensurate value, where's the money then? Nobody's asking questions. $16 billion. Nigeria, my country. So I was looking at some of the most electrified countries in Africa. Only one of these countries have a population of about 112. And that should be, which of these countries now? I'll get it. But almost all other countries have a population of 50 million. South Africa has a population of 60 million, thereabout. Some have 12 million, some 10, 40 something million. But Nigeria, that is struggling between 3 to 5,000 megawatts, has a population of about 200 million plus. And according to the NBS, about 130 million are poor, multidimensionally poor. What that means is that they don't have access to electricity, healthcare, low-cost houses, jobs, name it. So multidimensionally they are poor. So the small money that comes into their hand, they will use it to source for electricity, they'll use it to source for healthcare, use it to. But if these other areas are intact, the small money that comes into your hand, you can use it to push the vision of your family forward. When government fails to provide these basic things, it has a negative consequence on families, which is a building block of the society that you call a community that metamorphoses into a local government, and then you can now say it is a state. If every family man, a man who has a wife and 2 or 3 children, or 1 or 5 or 6 or 12 children, if that man has a job, right, and the wife has a job, or she's doing business, or the man is doing business and the wife has a job, whichever way. But if the first 2 people in the family, mother and father, have jobs or they have businesses that are running, and their businesses are flourishing, or in their different careers they are flourishing, what happens is that it has a trickling down effect to the children, which will in turn get better education, better health care, better home training, and then it will now help the children also to stand on a better foundation, right? And what that means is that the children that are, of course, they fall between the ages of maybe 1 to 12, you have teenagers, teenagers, you have adults, 18 upwards. Most of them won't go into crime, which is why, of course, one of the reasons why we have crime in the society today. A huge number of them are into crime. So most of them won't go into crime. And you will have a trickling down effect. Government will have less job to do in terms of buying guns to chase criminals. So, but let me just take the the electricity angle. I started with Egypt. Egypt has 100% electricity access, according to this particular write-up I went through. It said, Egypt borders the Mediterranean Ocean and the Red Sea. Egypt has achieved a 100% national electricity access rate for both rural and urban population. When you talk about ammunition and industrialization, you go to Egypt, even though that's where civilization started. But they are all Africans also, right? So, for Egypt, Egypt's electricity is sourced mainly from hydropower and thermal power. Hydropower and thermal power. Let's go to Morocco. Morocco also has 100% access. Morocco is among the top electrified countries in Africa, achieving 100% national electricity access rate for both its rural and urban populations. So you see? Now, Morocco also represents a high potential renewable energy market. So most of their electricity is sourced from renewable energy. They have wind, they have solar. Tunisia has 100% access, covering all of its domestic consumption needs. Tunisia boasts 100% national electricity access for both rural and urban areas. If you check all these countries, rural areas have electricity, urban areas have electricity. That is it. They use natural gas, okay, to generate their electricity. And Nigeria has natural gas. Algeria has 99.8% access, both at the urban and rural areas. They have 99.6% in rural areas and 99.9% in urban areas. They use natural gas accounts for 96% of the country's installed capacity, with the remaining 4% sourced from a combination of oil, solar, hydropower, and wind. Let's go to Gabon. This one shocked me. 91.6% access. Electricity access. The electricity access in rural areas stands at 27.8%. The urban population has an access rate of 98.6%. Under Gabon, Under the Gabon Emergent Policy, the oil-rich country aims to introduce sustainable energy mix including biomass, natural gas, and hydropower in efforts to reduce the reliance on fossil fuel and improve access to electricity across the rural population. So they also produce oil just like you. Ghana has 85.9% access. Now they have a mix of hydropower, thermal energy, and gas. National electricity access rate of 85.9% with 74% access in rural areas and 94% in urban zones. I recall there was a time Ghana celebrated 1 year of uninterrupted power supply, right? Has Nigeria ever celebrated 1 month? South Africa, 84.4% access. South Africa generate most of its electricity from coal. I told us in one of our programs, with the country's national access to electricity rate standing at 84.4%, 73.3% for rural areas and 88.8% in urban areas. Go to Botswana, they have 72% access. Then if you go to Kenya, 71.4% access. Senegal, 70.4% access. Nigeria, what is it? These are the top 10 most electrified countries in Africa. In Africa, not European countries. The top 10. Nigeria is not there. Nigeria is battling with South Africa. I'm aware they have energy crisis, but yet they still have about between 28,000 to 30,000 plus megawatts that they are using. We, giant of Africa, we are between 3,000 to 5,000. Sometimes it went to 7,000. National grid fell or broke down how many times in a year? And I asked, what is this national grid of a thing when we have solar? Now, it has been diversified or broken down. It is now it's no more in the legislative list, exclusive legislative. It's now in the concurrent list. So state governors, Abi, can go into the business. What are they doing with the present Electricity Act 2023? What are they doing with it? As any governor, have you heard that any governor has been able to set up or probably call in private local foreign investors and say, now that this law mandates us to go into this business, you guys should come. What can we do? We have solar. Do we have companies that want to set up solar farms? So we can break away from this PHED and, PHED wahala. That's, with their Yanga. They do Yanga every day. You know what's Yanga? You have a power issue and maybe your equipment are bad. For instance, transformer, armor cable was stolen. And the owners of the system who collect bill from you will not come and fix it. So the money they are making, I wonder where it's going to. Instead of them to come, fix the transformer, buy the armor cable or fix the wire, the community will contribute money, fix these things, call them probably to come and fix it, and then pay them money. It's like me trying to, this masts, that are stationed almost everywhere for this telecommunication, from this telecommunication. It's like me now going to service that mast, putting diesel in the generator that powers the mast. That's what it means. And then when I make call, the telecommunication company will charge me. And then when the mast is bad, I will now go there and call professionals to come and fix it so I can have network in my area. Or the community will contribute money, bring professionals. The mast in our area is bad. They will now come. They will now service it. When they are done servicing it, we will now buy diesel and put in the generator to power the mast. Then when we are done, we will now call the service provider. You guys should come and put on the mast so we can have network. That's the way PHED or whatever ED. They change their name from, but we still know them as NEPA. If they like, they should change their name 10 times. If I don't have electricity, why are you changing names? The name you have changed, have you changed? It's just like changing a bottle, but the content is still the same. Soured wine. Attitude hasn't changed.
Bring light. What you pay for is darkness. So if we now have alternatives, some people are providing solar, maybe some people are using wind turbine, and then we have competition in the market, maybe they will sit up. But my question is, the governors now that told us how many years ago that their hands are tied, that everything is federal government. Now federal government say, oh yeah, take paper, go and generate, distribute, transmit, do your thing. Have your own market. I think only Edo State, Lagos, and one other, and Kaduna also has their own market in the 36 states of the Federation. So federal government now said, go and build your own market. You are free to cut off. It's just like as an individual. If I have solar in my house and I have my generator by the side as backup, I can decide to cut off these PHED people. Let them come and roll their wire and go. So I can have peace. Right? So federal government is saying, states, oh yeah, go and do your thing. So you can industrialize, because when you have electricity, trust me, companies will come in and it will be massive job creation. So I felt like, let me go through, the most electrified countries in Africa. Not even Europe. Let's not go far. Africa. Same black brothers like us. All right. Let's go into the main meal. That was appetizer. That was it. I'll open the phone lines quickly so you can jump on any of them. You can combine both, but you have at least 60 seconds to do that. 0817-0000951, 0810-9510951. Just hold on. Now, recently, in the civil service, one of the major issues beclouding that system negatively is when people don't get promoted. In an ideal situation, as I'm working, people tend to feel, want to be part of the system. They'll give in their best when they know that there's a systematic working in a particular organization. In other words, if I've worked for 1, 2, 3 years, what does the law says? I should go for promotion exam, and then I'm promoted. And then as I'm promoted, it reflects in my monthly alert. Not that I'm promoted on paper and then I'm not seeing the commensurate effect when I get alert. No, that's injustice. That's injustice. When people say the rule of law, I ask, what is the rule of law? The people who are shouting rule of law, rule of law, rule of law, do we apply these things down the ladder? Or when it comes to the big man, you say, oh, the rule of law says you can only detain someone for 56 days. Why is it that the person has been in custody for 60-something days? The rule of law says you should release the person. And I ask, did the rule of law not also say when someone has worked for a particular time and has gone for promotion interview and the person passed, you should not promote the person and pay the person his dividends? We have a problem in Africa, in Nigeria, where when it favors us, we quote the law. But when it doesn't favor us, we look the other way. In every organized setting, there should be promotion. There should be promotion. If I work, I should get my pay. Look at what's going on with the NFF, with the Falcons who went to, the recent competition, where, what's their name now? FIFA had to come out to say, we'll give your money by hand because of massive corruption and whatever you can call it. Typical of a Nigerian system. So people will train, go and work. I'll be thinking of winning a match. I'm also thinking, will I get my allowance? Will I not get my allowance? So it demoralizes me. So why will I give him my best? If when I'm supposed to be promoted in a place, if when I'm supposed to get my emolument, if when I'm supposed to get my allowances, if when I'm supposed to get my salary, I'm not getting it. Why will I give him my best? Why? Why is it that people in, for instance, football clubs abroad, they play as though they'll put in their body, soul, and spirit. You know why? Alert comes in weekly. They have injury, they have professionals that will take care of them. Why do you think those players will not give their best in that kind of environment? They don't even give a damn about, the flying the national flag. How much is the national flag giving them? Their clubs take good care of them. So I heard they even said they were going to sanction Osimhen. Sorry, I'm trying to digress a little bit. That because he spoke against the NFF. And I said, Balderdash. What kind of thing is that one? So somebody should not speak the truth. So what am I trying to say? Promotion is very important. Even if you are in the private sector and you run an organization, don't joke with your staff. Ensure when it's time for them to get promoted, let them get the promotion. Let them get what is due them. People should get what is due them. Almighty God says, "Oh, no man anything." So recently, the Primary Healthcare Workers Association have lauded the River State government for approving the promotion of workers. They are lauding them for approving the promotion of workers after 14 years of non-promotion. Daniel Atieme, who is the national president, who I think few weeks back before the end of the last administration was also in our news, lamenting how the primary healthcare workers have not been promoted. He also hailed the Primary Healthcare Management Board for their exercise in accordance with the directive of the state government. So the state government directed that conduct promotion interviews, whoever passes, of course. And we're also aware that what should be done is that when these people have moved up, you have given them their letter that, oh, you've been promoted from so level to so level. It is expected that what is due the person from that month enters the person's account. That's what brings joy into the man's heart or the woman's heart. And he or she will now work further and give his or her best. Now, Atieme, however, expressed displeasure over the activities of some licensed agents, but that's not what we're looking at. Now, he also urged relevant stakeholders and all the local government chairmen, because this present promotion interview is done in the 23 local government areas as we speak. Firstly, maybe they can say, oh, thank you to the incumbent Governor Sim Fubara. But I'm looking at 14 years, and this set of people hasn't been promoted. And you say the rule of law, and you say we should do the right thing at all times. And my simple question is this: how do you keep people for 14 years without promotion? And then it looks as though they should beg to get what statutorily, constitutionally should be theirs. It's just like, for instance, those who are governors, presidents, there are statutory things in the Constitution. They get it without struggle. They get it without shouting, without agitation, without threatening, we are going on strike, just like, resident doctors will threaten they are going on strike. And when you check what they are talking about, it is something that has been signed and sealed. So it's law. And I ask, what will it take from the authorities to pay these people what is due them?
It has been brought to our notice activities of some licensed agents or racketeers among the primary healthcare workers in River State who have manifestly displayed their penchant to extort monies from primary healthcare workers within the state. Such nefarious and inhumane act is condemnable. We call on those persons to desist from such sharp practices, a situation whereby the vulnerable primary healthcare workers who have suffered colossal losses as a result of non-promotion for 14 years is now used by our own colleagues among us as a window of extortion. This portends danger and is hereby discouraged.
So for 14 years, the primary healthcare workers have not been promoted. But for now, promotion interviews are ongoing within the 23 local government areas of River State by the Primary Healthcare Management board. Now, my question is this: should workers, whether private or public sector, civil servants in the health sector, in the judiciary, in whatever sector it is, should people fight, probably go on strike, threaten strike, to get what statutorily belongs to them, or statutorily what they should get? As regards promotion, salary, allowances. Because, for instance, in the health sector, globally speaking, as time goes on, allowances are reviewed. That's what happens. Even in clubs where they play football, allowances, salaries are reviewed. True or false? If Neymar decides that, he wants to leave PSG, they say, come, let's talk. How much will it take for you to remain here? We need your services. He says, you guys are going to top this. They come to a negotiation table and then they agree and it is signed. Tell me if subsequent week it will not reflect in his alert, or monthly, depending on how the contract is, that if I stay with you for the next 2 years, I will get such privilege, I'll get this. And you agreed and you signed it. We all know what I'm saying now. We follow foreign football. Even in public sector, in UK, the resident doctor said, what we are receiving is not enough and you're overworking us. You need to also employ more people. Government says no problem. We'll employ more people. And that's why they started sourcing for doctors all over. And Nigerian doctors and health professionals were moving over there. They said, the money you have been paying us is not enough too. And they said, no problem. They looked for a way to source for the money. They had to increase immigration and visa and all that fee for immigrants that are coming in. That was how they had to source for that money so they can settle their issue. So when it comes to issues of promotion, emoluments that should get to workers, irrespective of the sector, should people probably go on strike, fight, quarrel, issue threats, ultimatums to the authorities for what is statutorily theirs to be given? For instance, if you say the law says once you get into a system, 3 years you go for promotion interview, what stops you from ensuring that, that process is followed? Once it's 3 years, this worker has been here, he goes for promotion. If the person doesn't pass the promotion, he didn't pass. But for those who went through the promotion and were able to make it through, by the next, once you've given them a letter, it should reflect, right? That's the right thing to do. Or is there any big grammar about it? So let's talk. 0810-9510-951. Please do well to send in messages to 0701-9339-962. By the way, we must also commend the state government for giving, that go-ahead for the Primary Healthcare Management Board to do this interview, right? Good. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. Go ahead, sir.
I will talk about that of the electricity and also use this medium to thank the governor, Amos Seminalaye Senegal. He's a listening governor, I told you. He's a man who listens to the people. If you're in the right direction, he will listen to you and will give go ahead to that project. Let me move to the Commissioner for Power and Energy. Please, sir, what will it take for you to approach the governor to enable our towns and villages to have solar energy? We can do thermal energy in most of these communities in far and done. What is there? We can also do solar. What does it take? There are companies ready to partner with the state government. Publicize these positions. People will come in, put their meters, put their solar panels, and tell our mothers and fathers they can recharge 200-300 naira in the village and have light and do their local business, bring produce to the center. Excellency, Honorable Commissioner, go sit to the governor. Think of the things they have given state the go-ahead to generate power for themselves. It's possible. It's not a rocket science. It's possible. Go to those interland. They are crying. We need light. It's a very simple thing. Throw the bid outside. Publicize the people who bid for it, and they get it done. They do it. You go into contract. They pay their tax. If there is any percentage the state needs to do, it can also generate revenue and job for the state. Thank you and God bless you, Master.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Mr. Jude speaking.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we are talking about 24-hour flight. Do you remember the year 2004 when about this electric go further and key 84 people are lost a year at Rastaman? Have you forgotten?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
So, even 24-hour flight, we are not ready at all. You understand what I'm saying? Except the one people to die. Those poles you see, they are old. The pole and the electric wire. You need to work on those things. Never knew now. That is why you see them, they take life. You can't just give life to those ancient poles, you know. So, if they want to give 24 hours time, they know what to do. So, when you see them take life, you don't need to blame them. You understand? So, we are not ready at all. Tell people to give, except they want people to die. I witnessed what happened at Slot at that time. People died in numbers. People at motor parks who load 300 loaded, people died there. Some people holding Kaka shop, Kaka drinks for hand died. You know, people doing business died there, you know. So, this country, before you can think of giving 24 hours life, that means they need to work on those posts. Never knew that. That is why you see them take life out the night. So I just give even me now, there is them falling. I can't stand under the big pool. That is high tension. Because I know the country I am. So people should forget about the 4 hours life for now. Let me know we are serious. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Master.
Welcome, sir.
Master, my name is Kapuni Kim. I'm calling from Agoda West.
Yes, please.
Master, I want to speak on the issue of access to electricity. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Master, I come from the local government to call Agoda West. Master, anytime I travel to my local government, I feel ashamed of myself. I feel ashamed. Master, have you gone to Agoda West? That is the local government itself by around 7 to 8 o'clock in the night. You will see darkness operating in our own communities. In our own communities in Agoda West, both Engene, both Ekpeye, you will see darkness operating, and somebody is sitting down as the local government chairman of the local government. They have not done anything, nothing. And if you go to some communities, you will see pole. In my community, you will see pole in my community, but you will not see wire. You will not see anything. No transformer, nothing. Sometimes I feel ashamed of myself where I come from. The local government that I come from, still operating in my area, still operating in Agoda West. We have IGP there. You will not see any standard. I think I'm not talking about roads. I'm talking about electricity. Let us get access to electricity, but nothing. I feel ashamed of myself, and we have the caliber of leaders. Caliber of leaders is there. Nobody talk anything.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not happy at all. I'm not happy. Not happy.
Thank you, sir. This one says, please don't include Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria amongst blacks. They are white. They don't think like blacks, especially Nigeria. But they are Africans, right? They are Africans. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Master, I want to add one thing. Sorry, I want to add. Those communities that doesn't have light, they should go to any national daily, publicize their community. This company will come, take in the survey the place, check the capacity of the buildings, and like a census or a manual. Then they want their phone by their hand, put everything that they need to be in place. So they should go on air or go to national daily, publicize that they need like solar companies to approach them, do their licensing through the Ministry of Power and Energy, and then they will have life. They should not begin to disturb them. Go to on air. They can go to FM, apply for any company to come that is, the community is safe and ability to accept them. Within 1 month, the company will write to them and then project will commence. Believe me, you. Thank you, God bless you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Welcome. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please do call back or do well to send a message. I'd love to take messages. 0701 9339 962. Good afternoon, Maxwell. Please try to... Okay. Elder, thank you. I saw your message. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
I want to remember.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
I want to speak to the issue of promotion. Yeah, I think that if I'm employed from 2007 till now, living the very capital, I should be 16 years in service. That's what is happening to those in the teaching field in Rivers State government. They've not been promoted. Even the recent promotion that was advertised and announced, presently those in the ministries have been promoted and they've even taken the value of their promotion. But those in the teaching field, and we'll be resuming school in the next 2 weeks from now, and we've not been promoted, we've not received our letters, we are not even sure if this month will even be paid. And it has continued so. Do you know that one ironic aspect is that we were given a letter, just as you mentioned, from level 8, level 9, came in paper with us. Asking far back 2010, that is done now. Let's finish of it. But I want
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Your line is breaking. Please call back. We still have time. Okay? I'd love to hear that, the other part of the conversation. Please do call back, sir. All right? Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Zion, good afternoon.
Go ahead, Mr. Zion.
They need to rejoice for having had that promotion letter approved by this government, led by Sin Fubara. And I want to plead with them. They should take this serious and look at it as it's a prayer being answered. And number two, sir, they should also come back. The way they were complaining, no salary, no gratuity, no this, no promotion. They should also come back and shout the same way. We have received our money. We are happy. We are doing well. Thank you, Mr. Governor. I want them to also do the same. Now, for the issue of electrification, can we afford those 24 hours? Yes, sir, we can do that. Have you asked yourself this question? Julius Berger is constructing roads. Go and check. Who are those manning and running those equipment? It's our people. Did you see white men planting the machines? Did you see white men holding pliers to tie the binding wire to the rods? Did you see them? Who are those doing the work? Our brothers, the black people. So how come and we say it is Julius Berger that is doing work here in Nigeria? And Julius Berger is from a foreign company. Because they can be trusted. They can be trusted. That is why all the foremen, I think the foremen, most of the foremen are black. But the supervisors, the managers and the directors, the people that does the work inside are the white. They can be trusted. The problem why this country is not moving, we can't trust ourselves. You can't entrust us with opportunity. You can't entrust us with a contract. They will give you substandard material and walk away. Look at the NDPC project. Contracts being awarded to local content. How long will those roads have they lasted? Even the solar systems, how long do they last? Who did they give the contract? The black man. In this part of the world, we complain too much abusing the government while we are the problem. Most communities don't have lights. They will come on radio to shout. Ask them, have you consulted your local government chairman? Have you got in touch with your senators? Have you in touch with the people? Because if you have not gone through all these processes, coming on radio to shout, it's just to me, just disturbing yourself. Before I leave the floor, sir, are you aware that President Tinubu has just rolled up a palliative environmental and real electrification process in communities? And we started with Ikorodu. How many people from River State have applied that this project should also come to their community? My brother, listen.
Thank you. Good afternoon, welcome. Yes, go ahead, sir.
No, my name is I'm calling from the
Yes, please.
You have said it for sure. If you power holding for Nepal, this thing is again their problem, or I don't know if their habit. If you come to Woji, you will see some poles. Most of the poles have any detail that rotten. Maybe we're supposed to change those poles. There's about 3 or 4, more than 4 poles. So just come and mount the pole and leave it for how many years? I call them, come and fix this wire. Come and leave. Last time I managed to see one of them. That was telling me that their own job is just to bring the pole, not to remove it. I don't really understand what is really going on. Until the pole, one of the high tension wire don't come out from the handle. Until the day that high tension now will fall like key people, that is the day you see me back. They start calling. Maybe they are waiting when I will come to the office and pay money for them to come and do their work. Every day, what if they do now? They don't longer climb that pole because they know that pole now is a very risky something. Any day that pole now, the high tension come keep it. That is the day you will see them. Since getting to 1 year to 2 years now, all those poles have been like that. Wire one side,
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Informer, I've seen your message. So you want me to take a look at going into medicine? I'll think about that. Greetings, Maxwell. We need a strong native. He said, what is wrong with those in authority? Why can't the workers be promoted as pensioners be paid? NDDC is just to loot money. Why can't the whole of the Niger Delta area have complete electricity? It's a pity, a big pity. We don't have leaders but looters. Franklin, thank you. John, thank you. Good afternoon, welcome. Good afternoon. All right, let me take some more messages. Good afternoon, Maxwell. Okay, Elder, you sent this message again. Thank you. I've seen it. Good afternoon.
Maxwell.
Sir?
Let us not talk about 24 hours light, honestly. Apart from even the high tension wiring, most homes, I can tell you, if you give them 24 hours, go up in smoke because of the substandard wiring. Most homes will go up in smoke if you give 24 hours light. The truth of the matter is that we are not ready for long. Even the rural electrification we are talking about that. In most places, because it is quiet, they vandalize these things. The people vandalize these things. The same people sometimes you think are the angels. Most times when you talk, you think the people are the angels. They are the angels.
No, Lawson, that's not it. If you listen to my conversation, I always talk about the people too who vandalize things, which is not right.
You talk about government more.
No, I talk about the people too.
More.
No, because government have a bigger role to play. Let me put it this way. For instance, now your transformer. Do you know I spoke with someone who works in that system, and he tells me no one can go to a transformer to either drain the oil, steal armored cable if he's not in the system. And these people will not bring electricity. If electricity is on, do you dare go into the transformer to go and touch it or steal anything? Except if you are a spirit. So who goes to the transformer to steal the armored cable to drain the oil and then steal some valuable things? I don't know what. I've not, worked on a transformer, even though I studied something, in that regard. But I've not worked in PhD before. So I don't know where to touch now that, the thing will go up in flames.
Like I am telling you that the wiring in most houses in Nigeria are substandard now. What they do is that as soon as there is no light for some time, they calculate. And then our transformer here, most transformer is back here in Yelegua, like our street. We are paying 2,000 every 2 months to protect it. We keep people to watch over the transformer night and day, just for them not to come and vandalize it. If this is a country where you see government will build railway, and as soon as it is built, they will go and you see them digging up those ions and then carrying it away. So go and do what? So go and sell.
So should we not now build infrastructures because people will steal it? Should we not work on our electricity because some homes will go up in flames? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Lawson?
Maxwell, if we build these things and these things are being vandalized.
No. Have we built them? That's what I'm saying. If you said if we have 24 hours electricity, some house will go up in flames. So we should now have 2 hours electricity.
No, we should have 24 hours electricity just like other. Look at Egypt. Egypt, you don't talk of Egypt is European standard. No, because the people don't go and you must not guide everything. You must not make law on everything. Most of those societies, they work on autopilot. Nobody will monitor anything. But here in Nigeria, everything, where are we going to get that amount of security personnel to monitor all those things? Everything you have to, because the moment you remove your eyes, they will vandalize it. This is a country where people will dig up gas pipelines, blow it up, and walk away.
Who are the people? That's what I'm saying. When people now do that thing, okay, are they spirits?
That is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. How come they have not been apprehended and dealt with?
How many people how many security, how many police officers, for instance, do you have? So
Mr. Lawson, it is in this same country that people have been arrested, put in prison, and some of your friends who are over there will make 1 or 2 calls. True or false?
True.
So is it me that made that call for that criminal to be released?
No, see, agreed, yes. The politicians do that. It's not just the politicians. Even influential people that are not politicians do that. They go to the police. In fact, in my place, one of the thieves, some criminals that were arrested, he's always going to the police station to bail them. But this is a traditional ruler.
So is it my fault? And the traditional ruler, if the governor knows that the traditional ruler is engaged in such a thing, why is it that the law hasn't, pounced on him?
The law cannot catch up with that traditional ruler because he goes to the police station, money will exchange hands.
That's what we are saying now. If investigations are done and he's found culpable, how come the governor of the state can't wield the big wig, the big hammer?
How can you do the investigation when the police that is supposed to maintain the law is the one breaking the law?
So what do you want us to do? We should be in darkness.
No, we should not be in darkness. I think that what we need to do in this country is, if it is allowed, I keep saying it, we need authoritarian rule. That is what we need. Also, the moment you come with that now, Nigerians will be the first to cry out.
Thank you, Lawson. We have to go now. Let me just drop this. Lawson, in my compound, you can drop a phone and nobody will steal it. You want to find out what we did? Come and find out. Give me a call. I will tell you what we did.
To find out.
Candy says, Max, if the government awards a contract, whose duty is it to supervise and ensure the quality and standard is realized? Someone elates to lead, and someone is telling me to write that I need water in Port Harcourt City. He says, Zion is an amazing thinker. Electricity is our problem. My brother, can I become the president? Let me borrow money and fix this, my country problem. Thank you very much. That's what you can take. Victor is here. The sports cam will be coming up next. Good afternoon.
Every day on Today95.1 FM, there's always an opportunity to comment and air your views on our various programs. It's not just about us. It's about you. Your opinion and your voice.
President, don't you think that it's time to step down, sir?
Be part of the story, the gist, reactions, intrigues, and the news.
President Neil Patrick Harris has called for greater regulation.
Give us a feedback or join the conversation. On Twitter at TodayFM951. Our Facebook address is Today95.1 FM, or join us on the number 0701 933 9962. That's our WhatsApp application. Be informed, be educated, and have fun. We are Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
This is what we've waited for. The showdown. The fastest men in the world.
Hearts racing.
One light, two lights. They're backing off and backing.
Pulse rising.
Who will come out on top? Who'll take 3 lights, 4 lights.
He's ready to be the star. The anticipation.
Powerful, strong. Compact. Time, Tyson Gay right. Hold all the way. Looking around.
The heart stops. Catch the sports game on Sports Attack Mondays through Fridays, 7:30 a.m. and Today's Sport Live, 3 to 4 p.m. and also on the weekends, 1 to 6 p.m. Only on your premium sports radio. Today, 95.1 FM.
I wanna take you away.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football.
What a devastating strike!
Football is a leisure game.
Sports is actually my job.
Football is boring.
That's not true. It's way more important than that.
What a wonderful goal! Fantastic strike!
As far as I'm concerned, sports is all about passion.
Sports Attack, weekdays 7:30 a.m. and Today's Sports Live 3 p.m. Weekends 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
For all you need to know in the world of sports, leave the dial on Today 95.1 FM.
Hello, my name is Kanwanko aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
No matter the stage, there's still room for greatness. No matter the stage, there's a bit of greatness in every man. There's power to rise. There's power to conquer. There's power inside. There's a gift of power in every man.
Be the greatest that we can be. We've got power to thrive. Be the champion.
Well, the power of Nigeria wasn't enough to take Toby Amuson into the podium or the top three finish in the women's 100-meter hurdles at the World Athletics Championship in Budapest, Hungary. Good afternoon. Welcome to the fan special edition of Today Sports Live, of course, reaching you from the studios of Today 95.1 FM. My name is Victor Oriahi, and I've got right here in the studio Ezine Oti, the Duchess of Sports. Welcome, Ezine, and good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Victor. Good afternoon to our lovely listeners out there. Yes, a sad one to say yesterday, but I think it was evident. We saw it from the qualifying rounds, from the heat to the semi. She wasn't convincing, but still getting to the final, it's something that she should cherish and just know that he who lives to fight today, I think. He who runs to the abyss. How do you speak that? I used to always speak that.
All I know is the ends with he lives to fight another day.
Yes, lives to fight another day. So there's more to fight for, especially the Holy Grail, which is the Olympics. So let's still keep our hope alive. And she's still a world record holder. So nothing to cry about.
All right, a world record holder, and you say one-time world champion, as that crown has been taken from Toby Amuson. As we always do on Fridays, we get to talk about all the sporting events that's to happen during the weekend. Of course, there's a whole lot on the menu. We're going to be talking about the athletic scene with Toby Amuson's race in particular. We're also going to talk about the CAF Confederations Cup and CAF Champions League as Rivers United, or rather Eyimba, and you've got Eyimba, you've got Bendel Insurance, and you also have Remo Stars. They will be doing battle, hoping to get past the first round, the preliminary round in those competitions, the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. We're also going to talk about the big games to look out for this weekend. There's a whole lot to expect, and one man whose club has brought in so many players say that they're not done yet with the business, and that's Chelsea. They will be up against Luton Town this evening. They are yet to get a win in the Premier League the day. Of course, the show is designed to be very interactive. We call it the Fan Special Edition for a reason, because we want to hear from you. Yes, we want to get to feel your pulse. We want to get to hear your contributions and your predictions for those big matches this weekend. You can send them to our text or WhatsApp portal, and the number is 0701 933 9962. Again, 0701 933 9962. That is the number to send in your text or your WhatsApp messages to. Of course, we're going to open the phone lines later on so we can get to hear from you directly on the show.
Every man has power to rise, has power to conquer, has power in fight. There's a gift of power in every man.
Be the greatest that we can be. We've got power to thrive. Be the champions, make history. Keep the greatness alive.
With the power of working together, victory is yours. We are champions. With the power of
All right, let's start off with the World Athletics Championship, as Nigeria's Toby Amuson did say she will be back stronger next year after losing that women's 100-meter hurdles crown to Jamaica's Danielle Williams yesterday in Budapest. In an interview, Amuson said it was quite a journey getting to the final, despite all she had gone through in the last couple of weeks. She was the defending champion, losing a crown in that shock win for Williams, the 30-year-old who previously won in Beijing in 2015, time 12.43 seconds, to edge out Olympic champion Jasmine Camacho Queen of Puerto Rico 12.44 seconds, with Kendra Harrison of the United States taking bronze 12.46 seconds. While Amuson and 2019 winner Nia Ali were never in the hunt, finishing 6th and last place respectively. So let's hear from Toby Amuson in an interview with journalists after the race. thanking, of course, saying support, thanking Nigerians and a team for supporting her, while also saying she's not done yet. We'll be back stronger.
Of course, I could be on my couch watching this, but I'm just thankful. All glory to God. It was a journey coming out here, going through the rounds and making it to the finals. I'm just thankful that I got. I think 6 or 7. But in another finals, it's not over. I'll be back stronger and better. Trust me, it's been good. My team, my family, they held me down through this past month up until today. And I'm just thankful that, I'm out here. I competed healthy. And I have another strength in me to fight another day. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's been supporting me through the ups and downs. Y'all stood by me, kept praying for me. God bless you. God bless you. And I'm sorry I'm gonna let y'all down, but we will be back stronger.
Sorry I let you down. We will be back stronger, isn't it? It was such a topsy-turvy build-up for Toby Amusan at a point in time. I mean, this time, yesterday, like last week, Thursday, that was when she was just cleared to race in the World Athletics Championship. So much happening in the time frame, but then one thing was evident: she wasn't at her very best. This wasn't the Toby Amusan that we saw last year, wasn't the Toby Amusan that we saw last season, and then she loses out in such a manner, finishing 6th position. How disappointed were you, and do you think she'll be able to bounce back from?
Thinking maybe she would find a way to push through and get maybe one of the medals, but winning it, I expressed my doubt yesterday because I looked at how the qualifying rounds had been. When you talk about the first heat, the heat she won, it wasn't a good figures to look at it. I think that was 12.45 or 12.44. I can't remember what, but it wasn't a convincing one. Then she got to the semis too. The numbers too weren't convincing, 12.5 and all. And I just kept saying, okay, let's see, maybe she's popping it up. I'm trying to wait for the final day, but the other opponents looked better. They looked more fierce and ready for it. But it's one thing that happens in final. The one of the lady that we did not see making to win it, that was Daniel Collins. Yes, Daniel Williams. We knew that she won that in 2015, but no one gave her a chance because we were looking at Kendra Harrison, we were looking at Camacho Queen, because these are the ladies that have been doing quite well in the World Athletics Championship, judging from the heat and then to the semi-finals there before they got to the final. But Amusan, I think she has done her bit. You look at this year, it's been fine for her, not the best of it, but the result she had in the final, that's the worst she had since this year. If you look about since she became a world record holder, now to this point, 12.62. It's not something we know her to turn out with, but she got to the final. I think that's one positive from her, because a lot of athletes would have gone through this kind of hurdle she faced, knowing that she was suspended, had to go in front of a disciplinary committee, a lot of judges itself, arbitrators, to cleared herself of 2 whereabouts count and just 1, which she said the officer did not look for her as much as is required, and she was cleared to go to this one. So I think maybe we might be disappointed a bit because we want to see what she did last year for it to replicate, but it's not that easy. Only 2 women have been able to defend their title when it comes to the 100-meter hurdles, and she would have been the 3rd, but it tells you how difficult it is, how to be consistent at that level. It takes a lot, and I think maybe if she did not have so much of these worries, it wouldn't have been as bad as it is. I think she had a lot of pressure. You look at what we complain about, her stats has been poor, and that is one thing. Starting poorly cost her a lot. We complain because when you're in the track with the best of the names, you will not want to start as poor as she did, and that's what happened to her. She couldn't catch up and she ended up 6th. A poor position to look at, but judging from all that she has been through and she got to the final, I think we'll just have to commend and say, let's see how you fight, don't give up. A lot of competition are there to face off, especially the Olympics. Every athlete wants to win an Olympic title, so if you can keep doing the right job, 2024 is just by the corner, and you win an Olympic medal, whether it's going to be bronze, silver, or gold. That it caps it up for her. So I'm not really bothered. I just feel she's still a world record holder. They didn't beat the time she used to win last time. It's not even this one is way behind it. You look at last time, yes, it was wind assisted, but 12.06, and you tell me 12.1. She still have a lot to give for Toby Amusan. I'm just feeling it's that joy that comes with seeing a Nigerian win a medal, because she was the only light.
And you've not experienced that joy in this World Athletics Championship?
No, nobody. Brume finished fourth.
Favour Ofili didn't even make the finals.
I wasn't even looking at Favour Ofili winning a medal. I was saying, okay, if she gets to semis or a final, that would be a huge boost to her. But
she didn't make the final.
She didn't make it. She dropped out in the semis. Even Akintola too in the semis too. So the only athletes we had hope on was Brume and that's Toby Amuson, and it feels like we'll be ending this World Athletics Championship without
a medal. We go hopeless, we come hopeless.
That's what happens when you go with few medal hopefuls. That's the only thing. That's what happens.
All right, well, time will fail us to actually just delve more into this. So probably we'll leave that discussion for Sunday when we get to talk about other sports from the first part of the show, 1 to 4 o'clock. Let's move on now as we talk football. Starting with Bendel Insurance. Well, African football ruling body CAF has announced a change of time in the game involving AS Clef of Algeria and Nigeria's Bendel Insurance. The Algerian side will host the Nigerian Federation Cup champions in the second leg of the first preliminary round of the Confederation Cup. The game was initially fixed for 8:30 p.m. local time, but the football body has decided to bring forward the game to 5 p.m., citing the poor lighting system of the stadium. Meanwhile, the management of the club has announced, that's the management of ASO Clef, announced free entry for fans coming to watch the game and urged them to come in their numbers. So that game is taking place at the Mabruki Salem Stadium in Ruiba tomorrow. For Bendel Insurance, just before they departed Nigeria, the state governor, talking about Godwin Obaseki, did have a short discussion with the boys, urging them to give their best. He said, look at those people, they don't even get stamina. People will go there and you win them, and when you come back, there's something waiting for you.
Good spirits. Yes, sir. And you know what to do. Yes, sir. Don't worry, I'm sure you're going to play better there than in Benin, because you were studying and you were very anxious because of the home crowd. Now you have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. So just go for it. And they're not better than us now. They don't even have stamina. So coach, just say I should come and see you. And wish you luck. And just tell you be in good spirits. Just follow the instructions of your coach. And you know you've not lost any match this season. So you're not going to lose this one, so don't worry. Okay. So good luck. And you know, there's something waiting for you when you come. Okay? Yes, sir. Okay, so just do your best. Okay then.
Do your best. There's something waiting for you when you come, isn't it? Something is waiting for the boys when they come.
Are they traveling with Fufu? Because
for the stamina.
Yes, because you remember what how the Dortmund player
Karim
Adeyemi, he eats a lot of Fufu. So I hope they're going to travel with that. If not, I don't know where that stamina wants to come from, but I think it's one good thing for the governor. Is it the deputy?
No, it's the main governor.
Okay, yes, that's true. They have. I know they have a back and forth currently. So the main governor, that's a good thing, because once you talk about football, it's a mental game and you need to put a lot of the psychology of the players. And I think it's a good morale booster for the players to see the governor come to support them and wish them we're going there. But they have to do better. We saw that game against ASO Clef that's during the weekend, and they were only able to score a goal. And
1-0.
That was just 1-0. The same striker that carried them through the last season, Imade. And you need to do better. When you go to the North African side now, it's not going to be more business, because if they score 1-2, it's not even. 1 goal 2 is not even, meaning that you need to find a way to score. I think for Bendel Insurance, they just have to do normal thing. Put all you have to do, put on the day and try to get a goal. A goal will do them a lot of good,
because of the away goal advantage in the CAF Confederation Cup.
For all of the CAF competition, it's still have an away goal rule. So if they can score a goal, that will do them a lot of good. But we've seen our team struggle a lot when they travel away from home. Even 1 goal is difficult, except what Eyimba did last weekend, that I still commend them for. I don't know any of our team that has scored 3 away goals for how many seasons now. We talk about our appearance in the different CAF competitions. So Bender Insurance struggles to score goals. Can they do it in this time? I don't know. It's going to be very difficult.
Isn't it about how you saw the first game? Because that game was, it was streamed. With what you saw on the pitch, with the level of play, with the quality of play as well, would you really say that you are confident that this Bender Insurance side will be able to get a good result that will see them into the next round?
I'm not really going to say I'm confident because yes, Bender Insurance they had all the possession, they dictated play, but if you look at the ASO Clef side, they were just they just made it moderate. I didn't feel they went out of their first gear. You look at the way they played, you know one thing, they know that a goal is enough for them to just keep it at bay. They're able to hold on to the pressure and move on to the next. So I don't think I have a lot of confidence in myself because a team that struggles to score cannot go far in the CAF competitions. You need to learn how to score goals, and I don't think Bender Insurance will be learning that now, except they'll take a leaf from what Eyimba did. Apart from that, it might be very difficult for them. The gates have been thrown open just like how Bender Insurance did, and you won't blame ASO Clef. They're not of the biggest thing when you talk about football in Africa, so they have to do that too because they saw Bender Insurance. Let us do a different thing because if you remember from the game we saw Victor, I was telling you that they had more of the Libyan side, the Algerian side, streaming the games more than the Nigerians. So if they can stream the games more than us, that means they would also fill the stadium as much as what they had against Bender Insurance here in Nigeria. So I won't say I'm convinced with the way they played, but they need to be clinical. If you cannot score goals, you cannot go far in CAF competitions.
If you cannot score goals, then you cannot go far. Well, if you take a look at the ASO Clef home record, it's been a pretty solid run dating from last year. They have only lost one game this year at home. When they play at home, only once have they lost a game this year. So will Bender Insurance be the second loss, or will they be inflicting the second loss on this side? That's the very big question.
That's if they don't even do that antics, because last time Finidi was not on the was not on the touchline. They might imagine Finidi, a next player of that caliber, being pushed up. We'll talk about Mondo Digi. They might tell me they don't even have.
Well, we went to see how it's going to be. We went to see how it's going to be. But let's talk about Eyimba. You already talked about Finidi and how Finidi was not on the touchline for that game when Eyimba defeated Al Ali Benghazi. Rather, Eyimba lost to Al Ali Benghazi 4-3. It felt like a win, you know.
No, it felt like a win.
Because there's the away goal rule. So you got 3 away goals. I mean, that's like a very big win. This time, they're coming back to Nigeria Sunday. That is the game, or that's the day for that very game at the Eyimba International Stadium in Aba. Will Eyimba, isn't it? It looks like they've got the front foot on this one. Do you see them letting go of that lead of some sort against this Al Ali side, or are we going to be witnessing a shocker in Aba?
I think Eyimba is the best position to move to the next round of the preliminary competition because stage of the competition. You look at the game they played against the Libyan side, Ali Benghazi. Eyimba was everything good when he went to up front, especially for the rebounds. 2 of their goals, or 3. I think 3 of the goals, if not 2, came from rebounds, because first one was from Joseph Atule, the fine man that left Lobby Stars to join Eyimba.
You just have to put in that fine man.
No, as long as you are doing well, you're a fine man. Forget the other rest. The other part of it, that's the kind of money that will touch him now. He will look better than that. So he hit the woodwork, and then the rebound was scored. I've forgotten the person that scored the first goal. They said all of those goals were sharp work from their forward players. The problem that they had was defense. The first goal, I think the goalkeeper would have done better. The second, there was no need. I didn't see any reason why Eyimba was considered a second goal, because I think Etozo, I can't remember his name, he was not under pressure to even score an own goal. So they just have to keep it tight. And imagine how they did it. They can score 3 goals without their coach being on the touchline. So imagine what it could be when Finidi is there telling them the right things to do. So I think Eyimba is at all Eyimba needs to do is to win. Don't lose. Draw and don't draw. All you need to do, just win. Whether it's going to be try and win 1-0, you are on. 2-1, you are on, because you've scored more goals than them at your home ground. That's depending on the scoreline of the game. So Eyimba is on a comfortable ground. Their fans are going to be there. It's not going to be played at Uyo is in Aba. So you know the kind of massive support they used to have, and I think this is the best time you have to support their team and support them. Coach Finidi George, I feel Eyimba is on a good standing going into this one. They have the experience, they have the caliber, and it's just like when we talk about being in DNA. When you talk about CAF competition, Eyimba have the DNA. I think they'll be able to prove it come Sunday when they face Al Ali Benghazi.
Certainly will be able to prove it when they take on Al Ali Benghazi. Well, the chairman of Eyimba, Kanu Wankwo, did just inspect the upgraded facilities at the Eyimba International Stadium ahead of that second leg tie on Sunday. I think the game is by 3 p.m. 3 p.m. it is on Sunday. Kanu also reminding the players of the need to stay focused, and how he also urged on Nigerians and even the Aba people to come out en masse to cheer the team to victory. So yes, also our own opportunity. We're to tell those who are listening from Aba. We get regular callers from Aba. They listen to us from Aba. Please, if you're in that city, go out and support Eyimba. Make it really loud.
That's the least you can do for
Make it really loud for Eyimba. I tell you, you might just be enjoying a really solid game. The last team
Remo
on the
Stars.
continent this weekend, you've got Remo Stars. They're facing Midema SC of Ghana. The first leg right there at the West Coast ended 1-0 in favor of the Ghanaian outfit. Now Remo Stars are coming back to Ikene, their home ground, now they're looking at overturning that result and then getting a better one. So probably score one goal, score another.
They need 2 goals.
2 unreplied goals.
Yes, 2 unreplied.
For them to be able to progress, isn't it? This side, they play fantastic football. They play good football. Last season, they made it into the CAF Champions League, but we're on CAF Confederations Cup, but we were unable to make it into the group stages. They got knocked out in the preliminary round. Here they are again in the preliminary round, and it looks like they're hanging on a thread. Will they make it? Will they not? But it's just 1-0. Shouldn't be a difficult task for Daniel Ogumodede.
Yes, it shouldn't be, but it's one thing. It can be a bit difficult for a team if they make it way more difficult for the side. Remo Stars now is one side that knows how to score lots of goals. I was also surprised they did not get a goal over there in Ghana, but they were able to keep it. I think moderate and getting being defeated 1-0 by Medema. I think they can do it better. We know how they can score goals for form, especially at their home ground. How they defeat teams and get a good result. And with the way all most of their players got award this weekend and this week, both the coach, that should support them to victory going into this one. The loss margin is not much, 1-0. It's something that you can find a way to upturn. 2 unreplied goals. They have a very good goalkeeper. That's Bankole. There, manning the line for them, and the forward line too. If Isaac James too can come to the party to do a good job, and the captain of the side, and can helping to reduce the amount of goals that has been scored, I think they can pull it through. After Eyimba, I think Remo Stars too can do something better. It's their maiden appearance at the CAF Champions League. I think they could try again to get to the next round, but it depends on what they bring to the party on that day. Medema is not a big side. Yes, they won the Ghanaian League, but if you want to look at the level,
Ghanaian Federation Cup.
No, it's not the Ghanaian League.
Yeah.
That's the first time they won that league. So they are not a big side if you want to judge them based on pedigree. So Remo Stars should be able to do the job. They have a good pitch. And then the pitch they played that game on was nothing to write home about. So going back to your home ground where you feel comfortable and a better playing stuff, you should be able to do better. So I think Remo Stars too can do that, because they can score goals, and you need to, if they can score 2 unreplied goals and lock it on and not lose concentration, that would help them. But let's remember last season, Victor, they went away to North Africa and they came back with a 1-0 draw, and they came to Nigeria here and they lost. So because they were able to get something moderate away from home doesn't mean that it's going to be clean for them. So if they can build on the lessons learned last time and then work on it, they can get to the next round of this competition.
Build on the lessons and just work on it. I was reading a statement from the spokesperson of Medema SC, Patrick Akoto, talking about how they had studied Remo Stars. He said, we've played against a team that has been very competitive. They haven't lost, a team that lost its last game somewhere in February. How true is that? Remo Stars last game,
They were judging us with the not the CAF, the normal MPFL because after they had the Super 6 and the Super 6 before the Super 8.
All right. Well, Medema are expected to leave the shores of Ghana on Saturday morning. The game is on Sunday, so they will be leaving Ghana on Saturday morning, and then we'll now have a training session at the Remo Star Stadium in Ikenne before that match on Sunday. The winner of the two legs will face Guinean powerhouse Horoya AC. That's Horoya Athletic Club in the next round. So it doesn't get any easier for Remo. Number is 0701 933 9962. 0701 933 9962. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll head straight to the phone lines. Don't go anywhere.
Champions make history.
Bobby, he don't settle.
I bet they go you to the tension person. What's in the shop, Abi?
He blessing only you never hear say Premier League. It don't return though. From Friday 11th August like this, we go claim remote sharply back from Madam. As it be so, my body they sweet me.
Sure. You think say you fast, Abi? Me where don't sharply go recharge my DSTV decoder. Come the corner mark time. And I hear say una where they use Go TV, you know go fit watch plenty Premier League this time around. Yafun. Oh yeah! With only 10,500 Go TV customer, you go fit touchlight all the whole 380 matches we go sup for inside this Premier League on top the new Go TV Super Plus package. Now just to upgrade your Go TV, go the new Super Plus package. Chicken, don't let your people deceive you. Now only DSTV and Go TV decoder you go fit take watch this EPL, La Liga and Serie A. To get new decoder, no dey tear pocket. DSTV decoder na 18,900 naira, Go TV decoder na 9,900, and then two carry free 1 month subscription. What do you they wait for? Hurry up, make you not let the pass you.
No matter the stage, there's still room for greatness. No matter the stage, there's a bit of greatness in every man. There's power to rise, there's power to conquer, there's power in fight.
Welcome back to the show. It is still the fan special edition of Today Sports Live, reaching you from Today95.1 FM. It's time for us to go to the phone lines to get to hear your thoughts about all we have discussed, from Toby and Musa to the teams that represented Nigeria in the continental competitions this weekend. Eyimba, Remo Stars, and also Bendel Insurance. For Eyimba and Remo Stars, they play in the CAF Champions League, and for Bendel Insurance, it's the CAF Confederations Cup. The phone lines are open 0810 9510 951. Again, 0810 9510 951. Or you can also reach us on the other number 0817 0000951. 0817 0000951. You can also talk about Toby and Muson. What do you have to say about that loss yesterday? Hello, welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is KLJ, the King of Sports.
Welcome, KLJ.
Yeah, I just really want to talk about Tobilola Amosin yesterday. Honestly, I was so disappointed, but I think it told on her from the heat down to the semi-finals where she finished, even though she took first in that particular one, she finished behind, her usual time, finishing 12.56 or thereabouts. Yeah, so it's quite disappointing. So to me, I am really, really disappointed. But I would just say that what the told apart would be maybe just the trauma she went through, disqualification, suspension, and all of that. So it's quite disappointing that no Nigeria is on a podium. Honestly, so it's very painful. And for the Nigerian teams in the continent, Enyimba, I hope and believe that Enyimba will be at the stadium on Sunday to see that one. I don't believe that Enyimba will get at least 1 or 2 goals to scale through. And for Remo Stars, I also see them going through. But I have a little bit of a concern for Bendel Insurance. There's 1 goal to nothing. Going away from home, to play in that particular one would be a very tricky one. But who says or who knows what can happen on the road as far as the football is concerned? That is why they say that impossibility is not in terms of football. So
all right.
I just think all Nigerian teams the best of luck.
Thank you so much, KLJ, for your contribution. It says he is KLJ, the king of sports. Okay, keep the calls coming in. 0810-9510-951. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Success.
Welcome, Success.
I want to ask, why is it that Rivers United is not playing?
Rivers United have been drawn by in this first round. They will start playing from the second round.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Success. Hello, welcome to the show.
Victor.
Lawson, welcome.
Greetings, welcome. I greet you. I don't
Good
know.
afternoon.
Yes, afternoon. The Nigeria here, Victor, why do we always look for excuse each time we do? When this lady won, we don't know excuse. Everybody say, yeah. And then this time around, she was not able to make it, and then we are making the excuses here and there. Why? Why do we do that? Why can't we accept that we were beaten for that simple reason that we were not good enough, Victor? I mean, I don't know, yourself was busy making so many excuses for her and ended up also saying only two ladies have been able to defend their title. Totally, that is difficult. As you are preparing, others are preparing. It's not an easy thing to do. Seriously, easy. For me, I think she even tried. So let us not look for excuses. She was not good enough and she finished sixth. It's as simple as that. They leave excuses here and there. Besides, it didn't even show that she was under any kind of pressure or whatever when all of that happened. She was so sure. She made it clear that she would clear her name and all that. And that's exactly what she did.
All right.
Oh, there was no pressure. And Victor, sometimes when we are in the continent, I laugh. Even you seated there now, I'm sure you can't even tell how many of these teams to make it to the group stage. Can you tell?
Not at all.
So you can't tell. So we don't know. Even in the continent, we are not good enough. Let us accept that fact.
All
if
right,
we manage to make it to the group stage, thank God. But if not, then that is the level of preparation we did get, and that is what we are also going to receive.
All right, Lawson. Thank you very much.
Good luck to them, Victor. Thank you.
Thank you, Lawson from Yenugwa. Hello. Please turn down the volume.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Yes, I want to say something about Toby.
First, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay. My name is Abraham. I'm calling from Rumodara.
Welcome, Abraham.
Okay, thank you. Toby became a star when nobody knew who she was. All of a sudden, she comes out from nowhere and make name for herself. And we are all proud of her. And when it comes to athletics, my brother, nobody retains titles forever. Trust me, Baba. And at the same time, before we knew her, she trained with the water and the blood in her body. But after she's been recognized, money comes in. And I'm not sure if our training is 100%, trust me. So when it comes to this side of the world, the more money you get, the more down you go down in your career. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I won't particularly say I agree with you, but let's hear from this caller. Hello, welcome.
Victor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I greet everybody in the studio.
We greet you too. What's your name?
Mr. Mike, the Chelsea billionaire.
Welcome, Mr. Mike.
Concerning Amosu, I think so. Distraction. I think when that scandal came up, I think that's in distracted her. Yes, he has been doing it, but I think she's just so conscious that let her not go and overdo before they come and test her again. I think those ones right. She just believe me. Within next year, she will come back again strong.
Well, but she wasn't tested for like a doping. It was more like she missed the test. So it's not the thing of them testing her and saying that she was of them finding banned substances.
Psychologically, she was down. Psychologically, and concerning Enyimba, I think Enyimba they will going to qualify. My only scare is Remo Stars. I believe the Bendel Insurance they don't like losing. It's going to go. They won 1-0.
Yeah, they won 1-0.
Otilo.
their people, they are out. Not Libya. Libya, they are not in strong power in the country.
But Bendel Insurance, they are going away from home.
Definitely, they don't have to lose.
And it's not Libya, it's Algeria.
Don't worry, they don't have to lose. Anyhow, Claire don't have to play ball. They don't have to play ball. Thank you. Qualify. But the Remo Stars, Remo Stars playing with Ghana. All the Ghanaian people want to see Nigeria. So that's my only story. Because Nigeria went there, they played 1-1. They came here and played 0-0. So, I mean, they were going there and play 0-0. They came here and played 1-1. I think and that's the advantage we have over. All right.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and I mean you've got to add that part. Whenever it becomes a Nigeria-Ghana affair, the Ghanaians just somehow seem to be better, especially when it comes to sports in the country. Well, football particularly, not even sports, just football. Let's move now to the European scene. Before we talk about the games to look out for, just bring you some updates. First of all, one man that has been on the news all week is Luis Rubiales, the Spanish Football Federation president. And I've been saying it because we were here in the studio during the celebration, and the moment he kissed her on the lips, I told Ival, I said, that is going to put him in trouble. Does he know what he did? At the point in time, I had to ask Henry, are they married? Is there something that I don't understand? Because I don't know if everybody just saw what I saw. And then it turned out that, of course, it's become a case for the past 6 days thereabout. And the man has come out to say he's not going to resign. Because the talks were he would step down and resign by today. But he has refused to step down as president of the Spanish Football Federation. Anything I want to do, and no go resign.
Yeah, you can't sack him because he was duly elected. He's that's the FA and the president of the Spanish Football Association. So you cannot sack him. So it's not left for him to either do the honors or not. So Papa says he's not going to do it.
I know they go anywhere. Anything I want to do. Do anything you want to do. I'm not going anywhere. FIFA, of course, open proceedings. We told you that yesterday.
I think it's to keep unfolding and know how far this matter.
How much pressure will be able to take?
A lot of pressure. If on a normal day, it wouldn't have had them, because even Hermoso too has now filed a suit against him, because at the first reaction she made was it's just spontaneous. She doesn't see anything about it, but now she wants to go ahead and
because they've talked to her. They've
talked by pressure. How can you say it? Like, funny enough, if Funai said she didn't even see it as anything. So it just depends on how you want to look at it. And
all right. For Nottingham Forest, they have signed Brazil midfielder André Santos on a season-long loan from Chelsea. The 19-year-old, who has one cap for his country, joined Chelsea from Vasco da Gama in January before being loaned back in March. So he will be playing for Nottingham Forest this season. For Folarin Balogun, a hot prospect, we've got less than 1 week in the transfer market, so I can assure you that in the next 7 days there's going to be such drama in the transfer window as teams will be trying their best to wrap up the business before the window closes. Balogun is nearing a £35 million move to Monaco despite interest from Chelsea and Inter Milan. The man's focus is on getting regular game time, and he wants to move to a side that will be able to guarantee him that. Of course, Jeremy Doku signing for Manchester City, that was yesterday. Emerick Laporte signing for Al Nassr. Bernardo Silva signing a contract extension with Manchester City as well. So City seem to be doing everything good this few days before the transfer window closes. We'll wait to see if they will be able to bring in any more buy. Only time will tell. All right, let's move on now as we talk about the games to expect this weekend. Mauricio Pochettino did speak to the media yesterday. He said his players will come good in a moment, and then he was asked if they should be expecting them to make any more signings, and he said just 2. We still need a goalkeeper, and we also need an attacking player. For the Chelsea fans, I don't know what you make of it, but here's Mauricio Pochettino.
We need at least one keeper. We have, very talented keeper, youngers, that, but they need time. We need one more to add. We were talking about one offensive player that with the, if you say to me yes or yes, if we can add the right profile, yes, but it's not to bring player because we need one more. We don't want to stop player here and to stop, the evolution of some young guys that can be involved with the team, and then we have Brocha or Nkunku, player that can play like number 9. I think he's working hard, but not to taking decision only because we need someone to add. But it's in these two areas maybe we need add some players.
All right, so that was Mauricio Pochettino speaking to the media yesterday. So Chelsea face Luton Town later today by 8 p.m, hoping to get their very first win in the 2022-2023-2024 Premier League season. Isn't it, with how you've seen Chelsea play in the last 2 games, and even from the preseason, they had a good run in the preseason, and that's why we most times say that the preseason is not like the main competition. This time around, they are going to be facing Luton Town, the new boys from the Premier League, who have played just one game, and they lost that one game to Brighton and Hove Albion 4-1. Do you think Chelsea will be able to get the first win secured?
Chelsea have to do that. If you don't win against Luton Town, I don't know the team you want to win against. This is the first time they'll be facing.
out.
I swear, this is the first time they'll be facing Luton Town in the Premier League. They've never faced it, just in the FA Cup competition. Since 1991, this is the first time these two clubs will be facing. So it tells you why it is. There's not too much talk about it, Victor. If Chelsea cannot win Luton Town, then I don't know which team they want to, because they need a morale booster. They need to start winning games. The player needs to feel that all the effort they are putting in is resulting to something successful. So I think they should be able to do that. If anything, if the reverse happens, then I don't really know what Pochettino is doing on his job.
All right, last season, 2021-2022, Chelsea faced Luton Town in the FA Cup.
Nice in the Premier League.
I know that. I said they beat them 3-2. It was a scare in that very game. And I think 2020-2021, they also faced off in the Emirates FA Cup. So that's the 2 times that I even remember them facing off in the FA Cup, except they still faced in the 90s. I really would not be able to tell. But in the Premier League, just like
people that are looking for is not a Chelsea standard. Yes, someone might tell me how did Mendy come about, but no, you can't compare Mendy with the goalkeeper they are bringing from MLS.
David De Gea is in the market.
I don't know. I don't even know why clubs are not. It can be a good number 2 goalkeeper, or maybe they could fight for their slots. There are other competitions to play, and you talk about the forward line, and I was just like, okay, Munoda and Nkunku is out injured, and you just have Jackson, and then you have Raheem Sterling that has not proved it was since he joined Chelsea. Yes, they need a forward player to join the attack, but it's really funny when you look at the number of squad lists that they have, and they still need an inclusion. That means there's something wrong with Chelsea. You can't have that long squad list of players and still be needing players. It just means that they've been doing the wrong business, and that's what I'm saying. They've been doing the wrong business. When the transfer market started, there are players that should have been prioritized. After you get these players, then other ones could come in. You can start doing those other flamboyant buys you want to make. But let's see how it goes for the man Pochettino. He's been supported with transfers. At least Todd Bowley buys whatever he feels might give him what in future time. So my own fear is they will then go and buy someone that is 18-year-old and start 19 and start telling us he will be no evidence. League have started. There's nothing somebody wants to. There's nothing to tell me that you have 19-year-old.
Okay.
It's none of my business.
Tomorrow, you've got AFC Bournemouth taking on Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal will face Fulham in a London derby. For Brentford, they will lock horns with Crystal Palace, while Everton will be up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Manchester United will face off against Nottingham Forest. Brighton and Hove Albion will take on West Ham United on Saturday. And then on Sunday, 3 games to be played. Burnley versus Aston Villa, Sheffield United versus Manchester City, and Newcastle United versus Liverpool. Newcastle versus Man City didn't live up to the hype. We expected so much from Newcastle, but they were beaten by Citizens just 1-0. This time around, it's against Liverpool. They're playing at St. James's Park. Should we have that sort of expectation and excitement again for the Newcastle team, isn't it?
I have a feeling this is going to be fireworks. I think the two teams are going to score, but maybe Newcastle will be able to do the last